This video is recorded by Hwang, and this video is for the presentation of the article. Title is that Return of the State's Public Supply of COVID-19 Virus Face Masks. The article is written by Hwang and Hwang. This presentation consists of 4 chapters. First chapter, Introduction. In this part, I'm going to explain the background of the article. As you know, South Korea has effectively responded to the COVID-19 coronavirus crisis. The incidence rate for 1 million people in Korea and the fatality rate was lower than the United States, Japan, or world standard. And there was not any regional blockade like China, and we have some very positive and active cooperation with the citizens. Many people and scholars said that the main effect of the successful prevention for the COVID-19 virus in Korea was due to the face mask. The government was successful to provide and distribute face mask to the citizens. And we found that there were 3 interesting points of Korea cases. First one, many early policy failures before the successful policy, lack of mask and price soaring and widespread complaint from citizens. And second one, there was a very unique combination of strong government management and civic cooperation. But we saw that there was a very considerable consistency in the government policy. But detailed analysis and study about the foreign mask in Korea are not enough. So the public implication from this article can be available or useful in the event of a similar crisis or cases in the future. Second chapter, the preparation and performance of the public mask. I'm going to explain some background and the contents of the policy. The background of public mask policy is that public price of the mask began sold in January. And the people started concerned about the lack of the mask and politicians criticized the government president. But the effect of the public mask policy was successful. After the policy began, the mask prices have fallen and stabilized. As a result, most people can easily purchase the public mask and wear the masks in ordinary life. This graph shows the timeline and the price change of the mask. As I said, before the policy began, the price of the mask goes up very fast. But after the policy began, the price goes down increasingly, and at the time of the policy finished, the price change of the mask becomes very stabilized. The public mask policy is the combination of several small policies. First, the government mandated that 50% of the mask produced by private manufacturer should be sold in a very special spot like a pharmacy or post office. And the government prohibited the mask export, and the government only allowed 2 masks purchased per person. And the government started a 5-party system. It's very unique system in Korea. The government allowed people to purchase the public mask on a designated day or week according to the end of the individual birth year number. Third chapter, cooperative governance between the government and the private sector. In this chapter, we're going to introduce 2 types of the cooperative governance. First type is the passive cooperation of mask producers and pharmacies. Government only allowed the mask producers to move into the industrial complex. In the industrial complex, the mask producers can decrease the cost of the production. So the number of the manufacturers increased very fast. And the government exempted mask manufacturers from the 52-hour overtime regulation. So the overtime work approved by the government for more than the 52 hours in a month. So the manufacturers they can manufacturers can increase the productivity. And the government inspects the production and distribution of the mask directly. And the government will also restrict the location of the public mask sales pharmacy. Both manufacturer and pharmacy perform the production and distribution on behalf of the government instead of the government. Uh, Neither mask product manufacturer or no pharmacists voluntarily participated in the government policy, but there was no disagreement from them. Manufacturers and pharmacists did not cooperate for the expected or promised profit because there is no previous case or experience. It was very difficult to predict the profit from the participation, and there was some damages from the participation, even in the case. The oversupply after the end of the public mask policy happened, and so there are some disadvantages to the manufacturer. And farmers have to take some work burden from the selling the public mask, for example, conflict with the citizen. Second type of the collaboration, cooperative governance is the active collaboration from the private developer. Private developer mask, with the public mask map. The map is that map that tell you the location and mask inventory of the pharmacy. Private app developers played a very important role, so it is called civic hacking. The civic hackers asked the government in the first to open up the public data, such as the public mask inventory. From the asking uh, by the private developer, emergency meeting has happened. In the meeting was for the utilization of opening of the public mask data. In the meeting, the office of the public officer and the civic hacker and cloud service companies attended. Especially the cloud service company is called the Pasta Alliance. They provide cloud service, cloud infrastructure and platform for free to using the public mask map. And we found that there was a very positive government attitude uh, to the cooperation. We found the evidence from the government's principle for the response to the COVID-19 virus crisis. There are three principles: openness, transparency, and safe engagement. About this transparency, the government suggests that they want open up the data and information about the situation. The Prime Minister chaired the headquarter meeting, and the headquarter meetings convened every day. And the press briefing were held twice a day, and the government released the public mask information using their website, and they report the information and data every day. They update it every day. So it means that the government always was very positive to disclose the information and data about the policy about policy. So this is conclusion. Public mask played very important role, but we found that there were several trial and errors in the process in a very short time. It means that there was some policy failures, but government revised such policies in a very short time. Governance related to public mask has two types. First type is with the private mask producers and pharmacy. In the first type, the government served as an enforcement agency of the public mask system. Second type with the public mask map. In the second type, the government played the role just to provide the information and passively participate the meeting with the private developers. So we have the three implications. First, In the context of the limited rationality, appropriate policies can be made through the very fast modification of policies. Second, the high effectiveness of cooperative governance. Even the type of the cooperative governance is not single one, but the common part is that participation from the private sector, even in the urgent crisis. The important element for the cooperative governance was the timely and transparent data disclosure from the government. Thank you.